My name is Flammy, and I'll be hosting this session alongside Talia and also Dia, who wasn't able to be here, but hopefully she can join at the end. After our speakers, we'll have time for questions and discussions, so please feel free to use the chat function throughout the session.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's so great to see everyone this evening. This webinar series has been created to support physiotherapy students all across the UK, where we focus on engagement, professional development, leadership and cultural competence as you progress through your studies and into practice. These sessions are designed to support your continuing professional development, contribute to your portfolio building, and provide a safe and supportive space to hear from different professionals who will be sharing their lived experiences, leadership journeys, and insights into inclusive practice. Tonight's webinar marks the beginning of this series, and we will
Talia, sorry to interrupt. I couldn't hear the voice. Can everyone hear the voice? Just say thumbs up. Sorry, we couldn't hear anything you said, so you may have to start again. It looks like you're
from the top. Can you hear me okay?
Still it's not that brilliant. Can you try again, please?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Go on. You may have to start from the beginning.
Just let me know at any point if it doesn't sound okay, right?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for the opening session of our student-focused webinar series in collaboration with the CSP BAME network. My name is Flanny, and I'll be hosting the session alongside Talia and Dia, who couldn't be here but will try to at the end. After our speakers, we'll have time for questions and discussions, so please feel free to use the chat function throughout the session. We're also recording this session, so it'll be available at some point.
Yeah, it's great to see so many of you here this evening. This webinar series has been created to support physiotherapy students all across the UK with a focus on engagement, professional development, leadership, and... Can you hear us?
Yeah, it's better now. Please carry on.
Do you want to? Okay. And cultural competence as you progress through your studies and into practice. These sessions are designed to be developed to support your continuing professional development, portfolio building, and to hear from professionals who will be sharing their lived experiences, leadership journeys, and insights into inclusive practice. Tonight's webinar marks the beginning of this series, and we are really pleased to develop these sessions from experience to empowerment. The aim is to empower students to get involved early, understand the value of professional networks, and develop confidence as future physios. This session is open to all, and we encourage you to engage, reflect, and take away key learning points that you can apply throughout your training and future careers.
We're delighted to begin with Sri, who is a CSP Council member. She will start by introducing the CSP BAME network, its purpose, and why it plays such an important role for both profession and for students training to become physios. Sri will also share their leadership journey, including his role within the CSP, reflections on progressions, the importance of cultural competence, and reflective on his lived experience there. Thank you for joining us this evening, Sri. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I hope all of you can hear me. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be called to speak about student leadership. And when I accepted to speak, it took me back. What I recently made a LinkedIn post took me back 28 years, nearly 28 and a half years when I was a student. So it allowed me to reflect a little bit. While in school, I was in leadership positions where leading teams and in sports. In an academic sphere, during the last 6 months of my course, my undergraduate course, I was given a kind of a class representative position. And that was the starting point for me, where I had this principle in India. Leadership is a very hierarchical structure, Even sitting in front of your principal would not be considered respectful. But he used to make me sit in front, have these discussions, even the most important discussions. And that gave me a really good picture about how, when you create that space, how you can open up and bring about your leadership qualities. What that gave me is, when I went on to do my first job and I went into leadership early on in my career as well, I was able to foster students to express themselves in their leadership journey. So this I was able to do in India, where I led two programs. I was able to allow students to mostly lead most of the activities, and then what was good for them. And then my career moved to Canada, where I didn't have too much of an opportunity to interact with students, other than playing football against the physiotherapy team there and getting beaten really bad. So that's the only experience I had. So when I moved to the UK, I got into a band six trauma inpatient physio job, where students came in for placement. And I still remember a Canadian student. He asked me, I need extra hours when I have to convert my credits to the Canadian system. What should I do? And then I told him, you decide what you want to do. You know that there are several extra activities that we do here, and then we agreed that if he helps me with an audit, I basically give him those extra credits, and it was a good arrangement. And because of the and eventually that audit, he got to present it at a trust-wide quality improvement event. And that was a good moment for me, where I was able to foster student leadership there. And then going on further, I randomly got a message where the Council of Deans Student Leadership Program, they were looking for mentors. And then I expressed my interest, and I was very fortunate to get David Williams to mentor him. And many of you know him. He was a really strong student leader who went on to become a labor councillor now. And he is breaking a lot of barriers, and we are regularly in touch. And that was a good experience for me as well, having that chat and then supporting him even in a tiny bit in his leadership journey. At least I get the opportunity to tell today that I played a little bit of a part in his journey. And then Iona is here today. I'm giving a few examples just to actually encourage others. I still remember when I met Iona for the first time. It was at the Oxford Nuffield Orthopedic Center, and we just had a chat. And then I was asking her, why don't you apply for the professional committee? But the only issue was that day was the deadline. But she managed to scramble an application together, and went on to actually go get selected to the professional committee, and then now she's a staff. And that I don't know how much I played a part in her journey, but I feel proud whenever I see her. We discuss those opportunities, and think that, okay, I gave you those directions, and how useful was that. And then finally, I've been in regular touch with Flani and Talia, who are organizing this. My intention is to give them a really safe space where they can actually express themselves, well, for me to encourage them to be a part of this leadership journey, and how the CSP can actually support us individually as well as an organization, how we can actually foster this. So these are some of the ways where I've actually fostered student leadership in the UK. In addition to this, Raj knows we discuss a lot about the students who come for these post-registration programs with from other countries, and they are also students in a sense, even though they some of them might be matured students. They come to do this program, and that's where what Flani mentioned, the cultural competence, all those things come into the picture. So as soon as they come, it's a new country, it's a new system, giving them those the guidance for them to later on thrive in this country. I feel that that's a very strong responsibility that we should take and execute as well. It's really important that we speak to that cohort. As part of that, in the end of December, I went to the University of Cardiff and spoke to a group of 60 students there. They are all going to come into the workforce here. So I did my little bit there, speaking to them for an hour about what they can expect and promote the CSP membership and how mentorship plays a role and how prepared they should be when it comes to getting into the job market, and leadership as well, and the way they take the initiative and work and read and in order to make their lives better. That is a sign of leadership as well. And then moving on into something formal, Luke Tobin, interestingly, he was a Cardiff University student as well when he wrote this for the CSP. He came out with 10 top tips. I'm not going to discuss all the 10 top tips. It's there on the CSP website, but I wanted to concentrate on just 6 of those. The first thing is volunteer. As much as possible, try to volunteer in positions. You build up from there, and then eventually you will go on that leadership pathway, and then get involved in CSP campaigns. That's a really good opportunity for you to express your leadership. And people will be looking for those signs. The moment they see those signs, they will come forward and, okay, you did this well. There's another opportunity here. Would you like to be a part of that? And that's how those doors open. And then represent peers. Now, we all know that some of us are quiet, some of us are vocal. That doesn't mean that the quiet people don't have leadership skills. Those who are in a position where we can express ourselves, or we have the privilege to express ourselves, it is really important that they bring the others through that journey and represent their peers as well. And that's an important aspect of student leadership as well. And the fourth one I wanted to say is about attend the CPD events. So wherever an opportunity is there, and while it might give you a certificate and a little bit of knowledge, the most powerful thing there is the networking, where you meet people and then you can actually drop a line saying that I attended this CPD that you conducted, or where we both participated. I would like to have a 15-minute chat with you. And people generally won't say no. And the last but final is blow your trumpet and beat that drum. It is verbatim, that is what was there in Luke Tobin's name. We live very busy lives. So everybody is in that race, and where people don't get that opportunity to actually, we should, but we often don't get that opportunity to look at others and then get them into their journey of leadership. So you will have to make those initial signs. You will have to say that I'm capable of doing this. I might make a couple of mistakes, but I'm really willing to learn and I'm capable of doing this. So please help me in my leadership journey. And then whatever little bits that you did, you might have been a school rep or done, express those things. Don't feel shy about that. Yeah, unless you advocate for yourself and your peers, people are not going to actually, in their busy lives, come and do that for you. So that is why I'm really keen, and I was speaking to Raj as well, to encourage forums like this, where we might be tiny in number, but believe me, the impact will be really huge. If we can get 3 or 4 people to get onto a leadership journey out of this seminar, I would consider that as a big, big win. And then finally, say yes to stuff. And I really like the point 10. If somebody asks you, okay, are you willing to do this? Yes, I'm willing to do that. Now, it might be difficult, and he addresses that in that point as well, that as students, you're very busy with your assignments, with your dissertations, and that self-preservation is a big thing. At the end of the day, you need to complete your course and get your clinical hours in. But leadership, a lot of the time, leadership is about going that extra mile and going above and beyond. Now, if the structured hours don't give you that opportunity to engage in these events, you might have to actually go outside those hours and say yes to say yes to events there. I've got my 1 minute warning. And then finally, in 30 seconds, affirmative actions and patience from current leaders within the CSP and wider spectrum to accommodate student leaders is really important there. And acknowledging that students, when they start off, they'll be anxious, they'll make mistakes. It's really important to support them in their journey. And I would, via this webinar and even outside, I would like to commit myself that I'm always available if any student wants to have a chat with me about how to start their journey or how to progress in their journey. I'm always available. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it's fantastic to be here.
Thank you very much, Sri. Our next speaker is Raj Kumar, the chair of the CSP BAME network. He will focus on how the BAME network supports and empowers students, including creating safe spaces, offering peer support, and advocating for representation in physio. He will also highlight current initiatives, opportunities to get involved, and the wider impact of engaging with the network during university and beyond. He will also share his vision for the future of the BAME network and offer practical advice for students entering placements and the workplace. Raj, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be show my technical knowledge here, so please bear with me. I'm going to share some slides. Can you all see my slides?
Yep, we can see it here.
Okay. Oh. So I always say students are the future of the profession, and I mean it. Okay. Let me start with this small story that happened during my university days. The first day of my university, I went to the class, and my professor noticed that I was not wearing a socks. So that became a topic of the day for everyone to say that somebody is here wearing his shoes without his socks. So when I heard that, I felt so upset and low. And I couldn't comprehend how I felt at that time. The reason why I was not wearing socks, because I couldn't afford one at that time. I remember this always. The reason why I remember this always, as a student, I have gone through a lot of challenges, not necessarily from the university, but in my personal home life. The financial aspect was a big challenge. So every day I come to the university, it was a challenge. And focusing on education was very difficult, and getting good marks was also a challenge. Many didn't understand that. They put pressure thinking that I'm not concentrating much. But what exactly happened, I had a lot of issues back home that was reflecting in the university. So dear students, always remember to look after your colleagues or your co-students. They may be coming from a very challenging situation, and your support means a lot to them. I have seen many BME students suffering in their placement, but they chose to keep very quiet. That's the one reason I thought that I should speak for every BME staff and students, and most importantly students, because they are a bit scared, like I was when I was in the university. Okay. representation and support changes the outcome. I believe in that. That's why I put myself forward when Sri said to go for the chair position of the CSP's BAME network. What we do, the BAME network does a lot of things. One is we amplify your voice. You may know, like last year, I believe, when students using your membership, you won't get workplace representation. But what we noticed, one of the students, at the time they went to go for a work, there were some issues and CSP couldn't represent. And we added voice to some national cry for CSP to represent the students as well. I don't want to take the credit. It was the Disability Network who put forward that, and we all supported that. And CSP changed their membership criteria for the students, that they can support the students in the workplace issues, not in the work placement, but when they get a job, they can support. So our voice does matters. And we provide a safe space for everyone. You can be yourself and you can bring your points, how you see things, and without any fear, you can have your honest conversation. And we are here to support you and raise your concerns appropriately. You might know that, as Sri mentioned, we spend a lot of time in supporting the students and members of our BAME network in every aspect of their career, including work placements as well, in this placements as well. Remember, your voice is important and it matters a lot, even as a student. As a student, if you learn to put forward your concerns and matters, definitely you are in the right track in your leadership journey. So I started saying how not wearing a socks had impact in my student life. But when I ended my student life, I was the representative of the whole university because I took that seriously, the challenges the students face, and I was supportive of the students and I was speaking for the students. That took me to the leadership role, though I didn't expect that. It came as an accidental, but it took me there. The reason why we encourage people to start early as a student, because it will help with your professional conversation and your advocacy skills. So remember, as Free said, that connections beyond university matters a lot. Like you are all making links with all of the professionals or one in the leadership roles or any walks of the profession, it will give you plenty of ideas and it will help you to frame the whole future of the profession. And remember, you will carry all these skills throughout the career as I am doing now. We do give a lot of practical advice to the students. Believe me, first thing I ask the student, do not tolerate poor behavior. That's the first thing I keep saying. But learn to handle the challenges smartly. You know whom you have to get an ally with and how to handle a situation. I will give you a practical tip. If there is an issue in your workplace or wherever it is in your placement, start documenting it, reflect, and seek support. We are all there for you. You are not alone. First thing is you have to understand people, the process, and the system, and the support that is available, and make use of it. Remember, learning to navigate difficulty is part of professional growth. We all have seen challenges. When we know how to handle it, that's the time we become real professional and the growth happens naturally and automatically. So learn to navigate difficult situation. See every difficult situation as a learning opportunity. Okay, as I started in the beginning of my presentation, you have to support one another. Never let your fellow student. I am here in this position because many of the students, my classmates, supported me. They supported me just not during the university days. That support went after the university days. Even now, they support me a lot. And we learn from each other. And we are setting the path for everyone. See, remember, you are the ambassador of your community. So bring your culture, be yourself, and promote your own culture wherever you are as a student. When you become professional, be your ambassador of your communities. You have to create opportunities. Sometimes the opportunities won't knock your door, and you have to create opportunity and you have to make use of it. See, the important thing is, as I said, you are the ambassador of your community. You know your community. When it comes to healthy inequalities, you are in the best position to remove the inequalities that happens in your own community and the wider community. Be voice of your patients who are very easily missed. Students are the future, and the future must be fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
Can you guys see?
Are you ready, Flanny?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Raj, for sharing your wisdom. That was really lovely. Over to us next, we have a final speaker this evening. It's Patricia. She's a CSP BAME student officer. Patricia will share her student journey, what motivated her to get involved with the CSP BAME network, how the network supported her throughout the training. She will also outline the support available to students, the value of engaging with this webinar series, and by getting involved, can really make a real difference. Patricia will finish by encouraging student engagement and reassuring everyone that the CSP BAME network is free to join and open to all CSP members. Patricia, thank you for being here, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, if it can be a bit louder, please.
And now, can you hear me?
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to have this on. Can you see my slides? Can you all see my slides at all or no?
Yep, we can see them.
Okay, no problem. I'm clicking on slideshow. Why is that just breaking? What happened? What's happening? What's happening?
Click this slideshow.
Yeah, I did. It's not working.
Okay.
Can you see? Okay.
Okay. Close that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
So if you slideshow, click slideshow
Yes.
from beginning.
Yes. Yeah, it was just the thing there. So, hi everyone. My name is Patricia, but everyone calls me Trish, and I'm the BAME CSP student officer. I am really happy to be here and really happy to be part of these webinars. The idea kind of like came across and developed with Flanny and Talia, and which is really great because I think this is going to be really helpful for a lot of students. So I decided to become a student officer because I wanted representation. When in my cohort, I was the only student, and I was a mature student as well. And all around me in my university, I could see a lot of students, but only in nursing. And my first placement, I've seen all physios and I couldn't see the BAM. And one day I came across a black physio, a girl, but she was trained in somewhere down south. And we look at each other and then we were so happy and then to see each other, oh, yeah, I see you student physio, oh, you're physio. So it's that showed kind of like the power of representation. So I was like looking around. I was part of the CSP. I had met Ayana, who came to provide what an introduction to join the CSP during my first year. And I'm like, okay, let me have a look. And then I was having a look, I couldn't find. And I think it was something on the front line. And then I was like, okay, here they are. And I looked again online and I had to type in BAM in order to kind of like to see the network. Because at first I joined the disability network. And then yeah, and when I seen BAM and I'm like, okay, this is it. And then yeah, and I joined and I wanted to be part of it and kind of like myself to be the voice of the student. So this is leading me to this slide is I really I am interested in lifting up student voices and especially in our community because we tend to be fearful of consequences, not because we're doing something wrong, just because we are made to feel different. Therefore, we say if we talk too much or if we share our grievances, then we're going to be punished. And I want students from the BAM community to understand that they have a voice and they can. And within the CSP, the wider CSP and the BAM network, you are protected. You can seek help, and that also what the CSP in general and BAM can do to you. So the CSP have the learning hub, which something like on your third year, um, is when I kind of most of the time use, but please do not wait until you are in third year to use them. Start using them from first year because it really is helpful, and especially the e-portfolio, the earlier you start doing your reflection and they have templates that you can download. There's the VLE. I've got some link in this slide that I can surround for anyone interested. So the support is there is not only to prepare you for your professional career, but also as you are a student to give you a heads up in terms of, like, as I said, CPD, e-learning, portfolio, and it is really, those are free to use when you are obviously you have the CSP membership. It will allow you to kind of like be organized. And also the BAM network provide an emotional support through the pastoral support and officer. When you need something, there's a safe space, people that you can reach out to communicate what your challenges, and then you will be supported. And you have the professional network as well, networking with peers, qualified physiotherapists, and all this is really good once you have your membership. So here, 1 second. My motivation for everyone to get involved and as a student, because obviously I think most of the time in any corporation or a company or society is always the professionals that are put in place kind of like in those type of support. But we need to start kind of in the grassroots because students are going to be the tomorrow's professional. If we do not start with them, then there is already a kind of like a gap that has been created. So I believe from the get-go, when you start on your first year, you need to have that support. So to represent your background, to to show that we are not different, that we learn the same way, we have the same competence and skills as our counterparts. And also, I'm really passionate about equity because I think like being having inclusion representation within our our community of physiotherapists is really good in terms of like the patients as well that we're having, because a lot of people, they might have kind of like a setback because due to cultural belief or cultural or religious belief, and then they come across someone who doesn't know or is not familiar with who they are in terms of like where they're coming from, their origins. And that can, studies are showing that patients tend to feel more accepted and well treated when they also meet people that looks like them and treat them. So this is really important. And also within this webinar that's going to be going on, I really hope that we can connect and develop. And as Sri as well said it earlier on, he's always keen, and Raj, I know, is always available. And we have also Iona to kind of like when you reach out to them to help you develop your skills, regardless if it's like leadership or speaking or any kind of like skills that you need to improve, they will be there. So feel free to contact any of us, and I'm more than happy to signpost anyone in need to improve and get involved within the community. So, as I said, all CSP members who identify as a BAM, they are more than welcome to join the network. I will leave that part more so with the BAM CSP membership officer who's here. Mala is going to talk about us more about that. And also, this is about solidarity and opportunities, kind of like to be involved in a diversity network, which is really great. And especially when we have meetings and events, and you can meet a lot of people, that networking, that support, and that sense of belonging is really great. And why those webinar series matter, because as I said earlier on, it will provide a support for students at your different stages, because as I say, we are the future of the profession. So if we do not start now, then there will be a gap that will be in place, and then it's gonna stay the same or stagnant. So I encourage learning from lived experience. Myself, I couldn't see people that looked like me, and meeting that physio that looked just like me, it felt like I won a million. And that was during one of my placement, and I was like, yeah, I'm like someone like me. And I know like it's not to kind of say like other people that don't look like me, they don't matter. They do matter, but there's many of them which when you kind of like you're the only one, you feel sometimes kind of like you're over scrutinized by them. So therefore, when you kind of like meet people that resemble you, that support you, that encourage you, that it makes you feel kind of like well within yourself, and then you're ready to work as well. So promote and share reflection. And also, again and again, I know a lot of people, they might face challenges, but they do not open up. Feel free to open up, reach out to people, and BAME Network are doing a great job. So feel free anytime. And just here to finish off, I wanted to say, you have a voice. Remember that. And if you are part of the CSP, if you have your membership, join the network, because you will get the support. You will have access to resources. There is like, events, and you will meet people, as I keep on saying, just like you, that can share their experience and then can make you grow as a person, and especially feel like you're not on your own. You have like a wider support and people willing to lift you up. So this is the first of it, and then there will have 3 more coming, and I really hope that it will help everyone. So thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you next time. That was me.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for that. It's so nice to know your experience. So now we're going to have me and Talia talk a little bit about our lived experience to early professional empowerment. So thank you to all of our speakers for sharing their journeys and insights into leadership, representation, and the importance of being part of this professional network. I'm joined by Talia here, and we're the final year physio students from Cardiff University, and we're also CSP student reps. So this part of the session is about bringing the conversation directly to the student perspective. We want to share why getting involved early matters, how we found support through the CSP BAME network, how our lived experience can be a source of strength rather than something to hide as you move through training and into practice. For many of us, discovering this network came through conversations at university, professional spaces, and student communities, rather than formal teaching. What stood out immediately was that this wasn't a network reserved for qualified professionals. It was relevant to us as students, exactly where we were in our journeys. As students from global majority backgrounds, there can be unspoken uncertainties about where you belong within the profession. The network offered reassurance, visibility, and a sense of lived experience, which is separate from professional identity, but something that actively enhances. Getting involved with this professional network before graduation can completely change how you see yourself as a future physio. Early engagement builds confidence, strengthens professional identity, and helps students feel more prepared for the transition into practice. It also allows you to see people who look like you, share similar experiences, or understand your journey in leadership or senior roles. That visibility is really powerful, and it sends a clear message that progression is possible and that you belong in the profession, not conditionally, but fully. Over to Talia.
So for us, attending the annual CSP conference was a turning point. Walking into that space felt daunting as students, but also very empowering. We heard many conversations around leadership, equity, representation, and change, and realized that students do not have to wait until after qualification to be part of these discussions. That experience marked a shift from us, from simply actively attending professional events to participating and stepping into our student representative role. Being in these spaces early showed us that students can contribute meaningfully, have a voice, and represent their peers within the profession. That experience challenged the idea that professional spaces are only for those who are already established. Instead of leaving inspired and doing nothing with it, we wanted to act. And that's where the idea for this webinar series began taking a turn, to turn our lived experiences and turn them into something others can learn from and take courage from. We organised and planned this webinar series because we noticed a big gap in student-focused support. While there are a lot of strong professional level conversations happening, we feel like there's a far less space dedicated to students navigating identity, confidence, belonging, and early professional development through a culturally informed lens. This series is intentionally student-led, and it centers on lived experience, reflection, and honest conversation. It's designed to support CPD, portfolio development, and confidence building. In creating it, myself, Flanny, and DL have also developed leadership, communication, teamwork, and advocacy skills, reinforcing that students can definitely meaningfully contribute to shape the profession. Placements can definitely be a challenging time for so many students, especially navigating our own identities, confidence, and bias. And we will definitely be dedicating a full webinar to this later in this series to unpacking these experiences and how we work through them. The CSP BAME network offers something that many students don't realize they need until they find it, such as community, validation, and psychological safety. Having access to these shared experiences, safe spaces for discussion, and supportive professional relationships makes a real big difference, particularly during these moments of self-doubt or transition. And belonging isn't about just feeling comfortable. It directly impacts confidence, learning, and how willing students feel to speak up, ask questions, and grow. When students feel seen and supported, they're more likely to engage fully with placements, seek feedback, and develop their professional voice rather than holding back.
Okay. For many of us, the network also help reframe the challenges as shared experiences rather than personal failings. Knowing that others have navigated the similar feelings of uncertainty was really reassuring. And especially with us going into training soon, I feel like it's really important that we have that support system available for us and for students to know that it's there. We want to reassure students that you don't need to be confident or experienced or have everything figured out to be involved. The CSP BAME network is free to join, open to all who identify, and designed to support you wherever you can in your journey. Getting involved doesn't mean taking on a big role straight away. It can start with attending webinar, listening to shared experiences, or simply knowing that support exists when you need it. As part of continuing this conversation, our next webinar in this series will take place on the 5th of Feb, where we'll be joined by Sheila, the regional AHP lead for the East of England. He will speak about how authenticity and power of narrative, exploring how owning your story and lived experience can shape leadership, confidence, and influence within healthcare. Your voice matters now, not just after you qualify, whether through webinars, conferences that you attend, student-led initiatives, or simply joining this conversation. There is space for you here. We recognize that your lived experience is something that this profession needs. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening this evening. We're looking forward to, if you have any questions, we'll open up the Q&A.